may have been a mistake putting the Naga Jolika on my chicken, because I usually do shake and bake chicken like every once in a while for lunch, and I put usually the nice one, the green peppers. I put the fuck that on there. It smells like, oh. Don't you love how unstructured these videos are? Okay, I guess unboxing. I guess unboxing. Alexa, please turn on the office lights.
Okay.
I apologize to everyone who has a Amazon Echo. There's just solar panels. I need this to keep my car from going dead in the garage that I rented, because I don't take it out for like 4 or 5 days, and the Corolla just goes, ugh. Microphone. Here's a $24 newer. All right, it's newer, and I have the box to it here because I was taking a picture for the Telegram. And it comes with this nice shock mount. This has all been opened, all right? So here's shock mount. It's actually a pretty decent shock mount. Comes with an XLR to 3.5mm stereo, which is strange. Just saying it's strange because I don't know what their intention is for that. So that's that. These are the Monoprice Modern Retro over-ear headphones. Is there no light pointed at me? I feel like I'm working in the dark. We're gonna go over some stuff. I'm gonna talk about miniDSP, and this is just exciting things, and I feel like everything that's exciting should be talked about to you guys so that I can prepare for the Twitch channel. It'll eventually happen. And the reason I bought these modern retros is because, well, look at them. If those aren't rip-offs of Superlux, I don't know what is. Oh, fucking just kill me. Besides, it's a depressing day and I don't feel like doing anything like reviewy. And I need to do reviewy things because they're piling up. Piling it. Who decided that that was a good... Yeah. Okay. These were like $24, by the way. I just want to put them on my head. They're not the least uncomfortable things ever. LLLP. I don't know what that means. Alright. Well, anything else I gotta say from this? No. Garbage. Added to the pile of Zeos has got garbage. Fine. The Neo. These were sent to me by the company. MSH sent me these, like they sent me the last ones. MSH, let me borrow the last ones? They didn't ask for these back yet. Maybe they won't. But these are basically without wood. And I think better pads. I mean, I don't remember 100%, but these seem exceptionally nice, these pads. The only thing I did notice is that this headband thing sort of sounds... I don't know if you could hear that. When I do a sound demo, I'm going to have to demonstrate that. Lots of cables. Lots of cables. God. So the MSH are covered. This original microphone that it's got some noise. We'll get to the... Well, there'll be a mic review, obviously. I got this... There's the... Puke a little bit. There's the boom mic that I bought, right? Remember the boom mic? And I bought the USB adapter. And the USB adapter couldn't power that boom mic like I said it might be, won't. So it needed a AA battery. So after like... And it was like 140 hours, which I just never shut it off, and that got annoying. So after like the third time I had to change the battery, Emma Watson, I bought that thing with the brightest blue LED on earth. That was 20 bucks, and it's an InnoGear that just is an XLR 48 volt phantom power supply. So I took the USB to XLR, plugged it in there. It actually came with another XLR wire, which is why this looks fucking like this. Plugged it in there, took the battery out of it, turned it on, it works fine. So I'll review that as a whole at some point. Back to opening things. I've got a few more minutes with chicken. I'm gonna save the Marantz, because that's an actual brand name. This is actually more oh, I didn't notice that when I pulled it out of the Amazon box. The Lix Pro. No, that's a Lix Pro. The boom is a Lix Pro, so I'm assuming this should be decent, because that's actually pretty damn decent. Why do they do this? Why do they just destroy that into a puddle? Dude, you get free nice XLR cables. Look at that. That is some quality shit. Another shock mount. because I'm reaching the $2,500 a month goal on my Patreon, which that goal, by the way, Patreon link in the corner, means I got to start doing PC stuff, because I promised when I made Patreon that I'll never get there. I'll do PC stuff because PC gaming is interesting. I don't care. All right, well, guess what? Microphones and podcasts, stuff like that. I had to review those keyboards. I was contacted by Synology. Get this. So I don't know if Synology just happened to be noticing I'll do a lot of audio reviews, or they saw my video about my hard drive failure and they're like, hey, you know, help us, let us help you, help us, help you. And I'm like, yes, ma'am. Hell yes, ma'am. Give me some of that. Give me some of that sweet Synology love. So if I could review a couple of their products infinitely, it'd be great. I don't think they're going to give me hard drives, though, so that's going to cost. But if anyone needs data storage, it's me. It's a decent. And it's, you know what? It's worth that. It's like 55, and that one was like 23. Now it took the Marantz, because there was 3 versions of this. This is the cheapest one, the 1000. The one, it was 1000, 2000, and 3000. The 3000 looked like it was straight out of a friggin', what's a good sci-fi show to reference? It looked like it was out of the original Battlestar Galactica. Looked like it was a microphone designed for that show. Big book. I do not recommend you use your Walsh Tower. By the way, I cleaned up because I reviewed the Walshes yesterday. 34-minute review. Played like 30 seconds of music. I got to do the sound demo still, so. Today's Friday. I'll wait till Sunday so I could do it with light and volume and. These shock mounts are all really... See, this one comes with a little tripod. So now we're getting into it. So now we have a little tripod mount. And again, I will link all this stuff in the description. Is that going to hold this up? Okay. Oh, look. Look, they didn't destroy the foamy. Yeah, they did. Never mind. I thought they didn't. They did. They totally did. Is it a more? It's not as nice. Actually, it feels pretty soft. This is again, we got to get to the Zeos thing. How's the wire tie? A 7. It's shorter than the one that came with the Lix Pro, and it also feels. I don't want to say it's worse quality because I think it's just not as pretty to look at. This is a Lix Pro 1, and I don't think. Oh. Did you go poop or pee? She'll get excited when she goes poop or pee. Something you need to know. Oh, that's got weight to it. Oh yeah, that feels like that's quality. It says Germany on the back of it, but I don't think it's made there for $48. I don't want to lose any of the parts, so everything's just getting shoved into a big puddle, and then I'll put the boxes somewhere. And these will get tested over my Ventrilo. No link in the description for that, but don't scratch it either. You can't tighten that without a screwdriver. Yeah, I get. I guess if I turn this, hold on. If I put that leg right under it, there you go. So microphones. I don't want to damage any speakers with it. So there's the Marantz. Here is the Lix Pro. Are they the same structure? Oh shit! They're exactly the same to the screws. Even the screw heads, no, it might be a little bit smaller than the Lix Pro. I want to know how much variation can there be, but that's the shape of this is identical. Now I got to go check the. No, the newer is different. The newer is not the same exact shape. It's also half the cost. But oh, cool effect. Since I'm running the 4K vertical, and this picture is exactly like. I don't know if there's gonna be porn. Don't be porn. Okay, there's no porn. But it's like, oh, look out there. You look down. I'm sure this will give somebody What's it called when you're afraid of heights? Anxiety. High Anxiety? That was a movie. It's a great movie. So interesting. So if these sound exactly the same, because they're really similar in price, then I'll know it's just a rebrand. That's a That's a dun 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 dun. I should read the specs too. Neos are done. This is done. This is done. Wires everywhere. Headphones there. You watch me unbox these. Guy dropped these off. Chicken. Time to talk about the miniDSP. All right. Quick refresh of how my home theater works, sorta. Receiver, and I just had it for the longest time, was 100 watts per channel out. Ran the speaker wires over there, done. And I had the Doom stacks, and I was running the speaker wires into that, and then the speaker wire jumped up top, and it played the things and the things. It was good. Full range to that, and I had a built-in crossover, and full range to that, and I was done. And then I added a subwoofer in the corner, you know, 0.1, and I was setting the problem with running the fronts in this particular scenario. You can't run them as large, or it sends extreme low to the front end. And no matter what speakers here, you never want to try to push extreme low to the speaker. I have these up there, you don't want to throw 20 hertz at it for a movie, because that limits how loud you can make it without it hitting distortion limits. So ideally, with a 5.1, you set a crossover, and you send everything below, let's say 60, 70, 80 hertz to your 0.1, which will just absorb that. And then you can play all the speakers in your system louder. And everything that's low end goes to there. And that's fine, except I'm stupid, or crazy, or crazy stupid, or whatever. And since I didn't want to use the 100 watts per channel in here, and I wanted to use either these in bridge mono or something else in the future, well, then I was running out of the RCAs and into those with quarter-inch adapters, and that was causing static. And I've explained this in the Home Theater 101 on this channel, which I should have uploaded on the big channel, but whatever. But, so running long RCAs, for a 0.1 doesn't matter. For actual quality speakers, you don't want to run RCAs 5, 10, 15, assumably nearly 20 feet for here, and even though that's like another 30 feet of RCA paralleling, there's 110 in there that's running to the subs and to the things, so it's all, you do not want RCAs. You want XLRs, you want the pro grade stuff because it's higher voltage and it's error correcting, or at least it has a positive and a negative and a ground, and it determines whatever. You want XLRs. So I had RCA outs of my receiver going into the Go rack. And the Go rack is simply as some RCA to XLRs, and it was converting it to actual XLR, separating entirely, running over there, no more noise. And that was cool because I could do a balance adjustment, and I could adjust, I could mute the front channels. Great. Problem being, then I added these subwoofers. So these subwoofers showed up, and now I wanted to share them with this. So I was either running a splitter and running the RCAs to these subs that used to be here for the front channels, and then I was running XLR and RCA for the subs, and I'm like, that's stupid and weird, because then if I adjust the Go rack, it doesn't take the subs with it, and the subs end up being mismatched and everything. So I bought, and I just threw them in a box. Where are you? These are dim lights. These things, the Scotialock 80s, which are good for 80 watts a channel, and they're to take speaker levels and convert it to RCA. And no, this will not work for taking speaker levels and using it for good audio here. Anything above 200 hertz is just a garbled mess. So get this, the A500s are way too strong for this, which was 80 watts a channel. So I had to fuck with it a bit. Ended up putting it in series here. This is a hot and ground and hot and ground. I tie the hot and ground together, and it only worked in this particular order with the gray stripe, with the, as I don't remember if it was hot or ground, honestly. It's a weird thing. But if I put this to my A500 and then I did series and then I used the left channel output, I was able to get a subwoofer signal clean enough that it didn't distort to those infinities out there, which still need to get reviewed. And that was great, because that meant if I muted this, this side muted, that side muted, fine. Fast forward. Actually, it's only been like a month since I did that, but fast forward now. And I don't know what was the actual, like, eureka moment of I need a mini. People have been telling me to buy the miniDSP forever. Here it is, by the way. And what a miniDSP is, it's a mini digital signal processor, which this is a DSP, but it doesn't have. This was $100 when I bought it, then it dropped to 30, and it's absolutely worth that. Volume control, gain, subs, all that. It's great. The miniDSP, I knew what it did, and I'll explain to you what I knew it did. You give it 2 signals, and it doesn't say left or right, it just says 2 signals, input 1 and 2. Then it gives you 4 signals out. And you get to do all sorts of things with those signals. You get to make digital crossovers, parametric EQs on the in and out. You get to swap channels, you get to mute channels, you get to... I'll bring up the software in a second. Actually, I'll bring up the software right fucking now. I want this video to take goddamn forever. You'll get that in the ohm review. So here's the software, and it's really, that's not a chair. That's, screw it, it's a chair right now, isn't it? I would like to thank Rhythmic for sending me a chair. So you hook it up, USB, and you get this like line, and I'm gonna have to redo it. Obviously there's gonna be a full fuck review on this, but this is just because of how important that thing is. Here's your input gain. You get to click. It's a map. It's showing your map. Input. Here are the 2 signals. Right now, there's nothing playing because I have my receiver on, whatever. So there's left channel, right channel is the way I figured out to plug it in. Then you get on each side a parametric EQ. So 5 frequency bands, and you could adjust everything. Then, so you got left and right, and then you go back to routing, and then you decide here, the 4 outputs in the back, which one in do you want out, and what do you want to do with it? So that's left speaker, and I have the left channel in is going out. That's right speaker, and the right channel is going out, and that's going to the Go rack to send XLR here. And then these 2 that are double on are the subwoofers sent to RCA individually from that, and I've got them both on. So right now that's getting left and right input, and that's getting left and right input. So I'm running mono, which was not possible before without doing a whole lot of shit with mixers. So I could shut that off by just simply clicking like that. No, I want that. And now that sub only gets left channel, and that sub only gets right channel. But with bass, you don't really tell left and right. I just wanted to combine the 2, so you do that. Now all of a sudden I got mono sub, boom, boom, it fills it in. So beyond the routing, we have 4 crossovers. And you could see it shows you a graph, and you could set cutoff frequencies. You can go to advanced, so you have to type it in like coding. And here I have it set right now. This is the why I bought the miniDSP. Because I want to play these ohms from movies, and I want to play those subs from movies. And I wasn't able to do it because that was playing full range. If I set it to full, set that channel to full on the home theater receiver, the processor, it was like, all right, well then send 20 hertz to that. And the way I had it set up, there's no crossover stopping that ohm from playing 20 hertz. And that limits it. And I was getting, if I played it loud enough, I could tell these speakers wanted to just go, fuck. But that'll play 20 hertz all day. So I needed to put a crossover between it. So that's what this is doing. Right now it's got 2 inputs left and right, and it's got 4 outputs. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think is how that goes. Yes. Actually, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And basically, here's what I'm sending to that ohm tower through the A500. And then if I go down one, there is what I'm sending to the subwoofer, which I have everything disabled on it. I used to have a phase reversed. I could reverse the phase with 1 click of a button on this. I have it just turned up almost all the way because there's an issue where these will shut off if there's not enough signal. So I have them like almost all the way up frequency response. Like I can do everything here. To what kind of filter type? Do you want a Lincoln Rehnquist or the Bessel and change the slopes? So basically now I have mids and highs, or low mids and mids and highs, and then bass. there's your crossover for both channels, and obviously they match. Then if you want to get crazy, you get parametric EQs on all four, so I could parametrically EQ that, and that, and that, and that. And Knuckles will parametrically EQ the fucking inputs, so that'll just compound shit to death. Again, we'll get to this all later. And then you get the output stages. Now, I had it hooked up one way where these were both the speakers and this other one was both the subs, but that screwed up how you looked at the crossover graphs. So now I'm dealing with, this is left channel speaker and sub, and this is right channel speaker and sub. And you can see I have the subs down at -15 because I'm going to balance them later tonight when I could actually play things loud. And I could set an output delay in milliseconds too, which is important. When you adjust the phase on the subwoofer, you're delaying the subwoofer. Because bass is slow, it goes whoomp, and it travels at the speed of sound, slightly slower than the speed of sound. Then a tweeter going, eh, will get you there fucking fast, and vocals will get there even, like, just a little bit slower. Low end gets there real slow. And what this will do is I can actually delay up to 7.2 milliseconds the sound coming out of the speaker. And I've tested it by just setting one, and all of a sudden the whole room sounds weird as shit. It's like, and it's instantaneous, by the way. You hit it and you hit enter, and it's just like, brr, and that is on delay. And I'm like, my brain. Reverse the polarity, boom, I reversed the polarity on the speaker, I can reverse the polarity on the sub, I can set compressors. So this is all great and dandy and fine. But the way But the way I do work out here, you got another 20 minutes. The way I work out here is where I have to swap speakers out constantly. So this would not work. I'd have to bring this up and disable things. And so I went looking, and the better miniDSP, this is the normal one, the HD one, which I didn't buy because I didn't read the manuals. I actually downloaded and read the entire manual for the miniDSP HD, and I haven't read the entire manual for this one yet. But that one will do infrared, is a USB DAC, is a SPDIF DAC, and has preset buttons. I can just go, yeah, just load up the full range for just the speakers, mute the subs. I hit another one, mute everything except the roller. It's gonna be great. So that was $200, 205 plus shipping from Amazon, which was cheaper than if I got it from the miniDSP.com. So there you go. Point is, why am I blocking Hotaru? Sorry. Point is, I'm not going to play any music in this, and the Chewbacca's fine, and eat chicken soon. But this is now getting to the point of stupid, and normal people won't care. Because normal people don't have, if you're building speakers, by the way, and you're just building speakers and you're, oh, it's time to design the crossover, where you get a board and then you get coils and solder on resistors. Don't do any of that shit. The only way right now, 2017, welcome to the future, you build a speaker, you put a tweeter, you put a mid-range, you put a subwoofer, you do whatever, well, I would stick with two-way for now, but you buy just 2 amps, it doesn't matter if they're SA50s, you turn them up, you plug a miniDSP in as your source, you adjust your crossover, your frequency response, you fix it with parametric EQ, and you just tweak everything before it gets to the amp. You get full power from the amp, and you go, oh, here's the issue that I'm actually turning this on because I think it's important you know this. The non-HD miniDSP, that's nice. The non-HD miniDSP only outputs through the RCAs because it's USB powered. So just like the ODAC here, which should be like that, USB powered, and the outputs on the DAC are a little low because it's trying to output 2¼ volts and it's only getting 5 volts and it's trying to keep it clean. And you're going into the miniDSP with full voltage from the receiver, and then it's got to output 4 voltages, and it's just, it can only output 0.9 of a volt instead of 2 volts of signal. And the subs don't seem to care about that. They're fine. I can blow them up. But I've got the DVX Go rack now at 99 with the balances all raised up, and I'm still at like 0, and I'm not getting close to pushing these amps as hard as I was pushing them without the miniDSP in line. So that's where this comes in. Remember this that I did review, and you're like, oh, you're gonna use that for no one need. I need it right now. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna mute that, and I'm gonna take this beautiful little coil that was working so well, and I'm gonna replace it with the Cable Plus, which I think I'm gonna Velcro tie this into a short. Where do you keep your Velcro ties? I keep them right here. So now, because I was reading a forum post on miniDSP.com, and everyone's talking about, yeah, the low voltage output of the thing, and I've got to push my amps really hard, and it's back to this. It's back to, why did you buy a $150 signal amplifier wire? And I still think it's expensive, but it's gonna work right here. Right what I'm about to do with it is important. I'm never gonna be able to track these wires, am I? I'll unplug one at a time. That's what I'll do. I need to find a USB power plug. So where are you going? Your input 1. Okay. You come out around the neck. Gotta remember the orientation of this. This is really annoying, by the way. So this is, so right top. Right top. So that means that this, all I gotta remember is right top. That's all I gotta remember is right top. Out, we're going out to this. Right top. So I'm gonna assume right, left, and actually it doesn't really matter because you could just change it all up. Right top, left bottom. Come on. Okay, so now the next step in this process of just adding cost. This is just adding cost to my entire goddamn world. I'll lower that because I'm not sure how much that's gonna improve everything. And now I gotta come over here and climb over my bike because, and I've got a few, actually this is perfect. This is shorty. Because I have that Anchor power thing I was talking about back here. Look at it. Oh, Jesus, God. Gotta buy those shorter wires. Gotta buy the shorter wires. Because it's just, I bring my GoPro and stuff here to charge them, and lots of things in this rack, my alarm system and everything, old USB. They all just need that USB bitch. I really wish I could reach the front of this. Welcome to Zeos's world. Okay. Okay. Light on, lights on. This is, don't look at that. I don't want to look at that. It's gonna be the first thing a girl sees to bring her here. Oh, what a lovely, and then she's gone. Put these wires back. So now, I can unmute this. So now, my miniDSP should be outputting the correct voltage, or at least a much higher voltage than it was. And I could test that without problem by doing a level calibration. Let's take it to 90. Oh yeah. See, I brought those down, so now I can bring those back up. It's all right. So now at 95, and I'll bring them just a little bit more, I have all right. So how much money do I have between here and there? So thankfully I got this receiver for like $300, and it was a miracle because they don't drop for any less than $1,000. And I don't know how I got it. I was like, I really want one of those. And I checked, and like, oh, $300. This is years ago. And I'm like, all right, and thank you, because I need pre-outs. So now I've got ODAC in, pre-outs out to miniDSP, miniDSP separating all the things. Half the things going straight RCAs to those subs, half the thing is going into this go rack being converted to XLR, going to the amps, and the amps powering the things. Okay. So, everything should be set up. If I put on said movie, Con Air, oh, Conan the Destroyer, Dark City, one of my favorite movies. I think one of the only movies I ever asked for on like DVD. So now, I have the front set to full size. So they'll get 20 hertz. They're gonna get 20 hertz from whatever encode is sending out the receiver. Receiver's going, they want full spectrum, give it to them. Double bass is off, so now that's getting LFE. That's also getting everything from the rear channels. And the front channels are getting full signal, no matter how low it goes. And the miniDSP is controlling what goes to the subs and what goes to the amps on the subs that goes to the speakers. And there shouldn't be any doubling or any cancellations, and I can adjust phase and delay. It's gotta be fucking sweet. Even if you just want, for $100, $105 is what this costs, by the way. $105 fucking dollars. $105. If they charged $500 for that, people would pay it because there's nothing else that does that. But you could buy one of those miniDSPs if you're a subwoofer nut. If you've got like that, as good as that is, and you could adjust with it, you probably wouldn't need that. But the Rhythmic here, as advanced and great as it sounds, is a pretty dumb subwoofer. It doesn't have much. It's got crossover and phase delay, and that's it. With one of those, you could just have one channel go in, your subwoofer out from your receiver. You could adjust delay, parametric. Actually, you couldn't adjust the delay because you could only delay it back. That's why you need a receiver to adjust the delay. Right? Yeah. True, yeah, okay. Yeah. It's beneficial to have the speakers run through the miniDSP because you can delay the speakers. But with a miniDSP for a subwoofer, you can change the phase and some delay, but it's never going to make the speakers slow down. It's just going to make the subs slow down even more. So you would adjust a little bit on that. But then you could just, oh yeah, I got a null in my room at 40 hertz. All right, well then jank fucking 40 hertz up and how tight you want that bend. Oh. I just had to get this on video because it's not going to be as exciting when I'm sitting down to review this properly. This is just my bullshit, like, oh my god, miniDSP. And I avoided it. One of the reasons I avoided it because I am a tweak freak, and the people who recommended it, and I'm pretty sure Strategic Deceiver from NoAudiophile.com was like, hey, you should get one of these and fuck with it. And I knew exactly what would happen if I got one of those, and it's exactly what's happening right now. And I didn't have the time or care in my life back then, a year ago, whenever. And now I have it, and it's like, fuck, I ordered the better one. I had this for 3 hours, and then I ordered the better one, and I won't give it away, but I'll definitely put this one up for auction on the Patreon. Again, the Patreon. So I can keep funding how stupid this is getting. Just stupid. Stupid funding. Fund me being stupid. By the way, if you ever go to Grapheon.com, I won't link to it, but Grapheon.com shows the top patrons, all the Patreon in the world. And the top ones are the weirdest, stupidest shit ever. And I'm just like, oh god. A lot of responsibility up there.
Let the tuning commence.
Exactly. Perfect. Windows key M, Alt Tab, let the tuning commence. Another thing I don't like about this software, there's no like hotkeys, which the better software for the better unit will have hotkeys. But you can't like link channels like you can on the other one. And also this is as big as it gets. It's only a 1080p screen. And that's as big as it gets. And if I'm there, fine adjustments on like, it's just hard. And you can full screen it and it's just gray around it. It doesn't make the actual thing any bigger. So that's my complaints so far. You know, you could save a setup and then you could load it, but you can't just, it's not like a specialty file, it's just an XML file. So you can't just like, if I had them on my desktop and I'm like, full tilt to the speakers and mute the subs, and then load another one, that'll be great, but you can't do that either. So this is all gonna get, I mean, it's been like 5 hours, and I haven't learned everything, and I haven't played with anything, and I haven't got my measurement mic out and started to fix room knells and shit. I don't want to do that. Hi. Alright, so there's some mics I unboxed and some headphones that are now unboxed and just sitting around, and I'm going to have to deal with all that, and then I'm going to have to do sound demo for this in 2 days and never use my kitchen again. If I forgot anything, too bad. I'll film it next time. And just like that, the world came cumbling down, which is a new word. Write that into the dictionary. So, I finished the review. I finished what I just did, watched it. I'm sitting here and it's like, all right, it's almost time. Businesses are closed. I'm going to put some music on. I'm flipping through images of this weird looking off-road BMW that someone's selling for $2,900 in Pennsylvania. And as I hit next, I'm like, I hear, rut. I'm like, what the fuck? And I know exactly what that sound is. It's the sound of USB being a prick when you have anything to do with power. And, oh, shit, that means I'm going to have to... I came over here, and sure enough... It's gone now because I fixed it. But, sure enough, flipping through the fucking pictures and moving the mouse, everything my computer was doing, you could hear it. And that's what bad USB is and what it does. So I tried 2 things. Hold on. The 2 things I tried were, I have this Hi-Fi DIY USB power conditioner thing, and I bought this because I didn't want to buy an Audio Quest Jitterbug. Someone sent me an Audio Quest Jitterbug. So I tried this, did not fix the USB noise. I tried this, it did not fix the USB noise. I dug through my power box of random shit that has to do with electricity. There is a power plug, I forgot to mention this, on the miniDSP. And what the power plug is for is you can program a miniDSP, you know, with the whole software, then disconnect it, bring it to the middle of a farm, and just plug it into a stereo on a farm, and it'll retain the last settings it was set up with. Never mind, I didn't fix it. Shit. So what are you doing? If I unplug this, will it go away? Hold on. Do math now. You hear that? Shit. So now it's not even working with the power. Am I even going to still encode this? That's annoying. That's hyper fucking bollically annoying. I wonder why. Could it be the cable plus? It's silent now. But I don't think it's the cable plus, honestly. So I've given this the full test. Nice. So cable plus. Let's unplug the leads from the cable plus. Sorry. No, silent. So it's definitely the miniDSP shitting out some weird noise. Screw it. Let's make this video an hour and a half long. Just do it. Just do it. So, the miniDSP is making noise. Is it getting feedback from the giant lengths from the subwoofers? So, now that I'm smart, let's plug these back in. Weird. I'll plug left top, right bottom. No, it's not that. So it's just the miniDSP's noisy. So we're gonna see. Sorry, subwoofers. I wonder why one makes so much louder noise than the other. So we're gonna see in the future if the HD version doesn't make the sounds. Because I thought, I mean, if I can't unplug the miniDSP. The miniDSP is running right now. It's just Well, will it still make noise from this? Huh. Because usually if it's USB noise, it'll correspond. But something happening on screen, dragging a window around is usually a big one. I can't tell if it's... Play a YouTube video. And obviously it's going to play sound. Mute it. I don't know. I mean, it only affects it when you're touching the speakers, but I noticed it. It's like an errant Nope, don't do that. That particular amp hates that.
Why?
Why exactly?
We'll go beyond that though, because we want to know how these.
Thank God you're here, or I'd go on a murderous rampage. So, Zeus's nerves are a bit shot, and I'm a little bit shaken from the fucking noise. And I've been sitting here with alligator clips, just touching things to each other, trying to ground, see if there's a ground. And then I'm like, Jesus, what are you gonna do to fix this? And I swear to God, there is none, but I swear to him anyway. I ordered this because it was 20 bucks, and I'm like, I could probably use that at some point. So, high-end ground isolator. Let's see. Poopers. So let's add yet another piece of equipment between equipment. At least this is labeled. I'm still gonna keep the cable plus in line. But now I'm gonna add this. This is gonna get cramped back here real fast. So mute. That's out. So this is gonna be, the red is on the right. Red is on the top. Top red. Don't go between the lines. So now I'm gonna put this here. Now I'm gonna put this here. Where's red? Red is this one. Red is on the top. And maybe this will make the terrible humming go away. Silent. But, yes, okay. So, now my signal path is as follows. Tascam, line out to the miniDSP. miniDSP, one set out to the subwoofers, and I checked by unplugging so wasn't feeding back. So subwoofers, you'll never notice that sound we just heard in subwoofers, so it doesn't matter. The other set out to the Go rack to convert it to XLR through the cable plus. So now it's Tascam, miniDSP, ground loop isolator, cable plus, Go rack, A500. Oh, and by the way, I couldn't hear it before because it was raining and I have the windows open. I'm like, they all blended together. Then the rain stopped. So now it's not making a goddamn sound. That's the wrong box. I don't care. One's ear is that shape. Maybe when you're an infant, you can get your ear in. Now, here's the problem with ground loop isolators. Saying high end does not make it high end. It just says high end on it. It literally is the box. It says high end ground loop isolator. And that doesn't mean shit. So there's a good chance this is screwing up the way the thing sounds. It is made in China. It's nice, at least. It says the total harmonic distortion will be 0.001. With a transmission ratio of 1% and input impedance of 12,000 hertz. 12,000, kilo ohms. but it got rid of the hum. So there definitely was a ground loop, because with the alligator clips I was able to touch things. It was making touch this, which is earth ground off with the coaxial that feeds my internet, and it was definitely doing things. So now it's silent. Now it's good. Now I could live. But I mean, that's just a fucking disaster back here. I'm just preparing you all. If you come on this journey with me, there's no coming back from it. So now I should be able to unplug the power from this. Ah. Where's my keyboard? I'm gonna lower the volume all the way down in this video and unpause it. Yeah. Okay, so she's still bleeding data noise. I'm gonna call that data noise or read noise. So if you plug the external power in, now the USB only does communications with that. It's not doing power with it. And that gets rid of all the rest of it. So miniDSP is wonderful. Fuck. I'm gonna have to do some checking. I'm gonna have to sit down with my AB box and check that ground loop isolator on headphones with a good DAC and an amp, just to see if it makes a sound difference, because I'm sure it's gonna do something to it. But until then, I'm gonna enjoy my ignorance. I'm just gonna be ignorant right now, not hearing that. And I'm sorry I had to make this video 50 something minutes long now. But this is the rabbit hole. We're all gonna run down the rabbit hole. At the rate this video is going, it'll be released tomorrow, which will be April the 1st, and this will be the best April Fool's joke ever. So, I put this in line just seconds ago. So I put in line, I'll deal with it, and I couldn't. The sound quality decrease that this thing threw, it was like, I didn't want to hear it, but I had no choice to hear it. So I'm like, oh, you fuck. So I got some little barrels, some RCA barrels. I threw some RCA barrel connectors in line. Where did I end up going? Where did they go? I'm trying to get my life back together here. It's just a fucking... This is if my streams would be terrible. Markers. I took out these XLR RCAs. So I'm like, the barrels, and I bypassed the thing one channel at a time, and sure enough, it's like, oh, I took the right channel off and I just barrel connected past it. I was like, oh, yeah, this thing's fucking it up. So I took this out of the loop, and then I'm like, you know what? The Go Rack, let's see what the Go Rack's doing, because all I'm doing is passing through into XLR. Fill my pockets with that. So I ended up taking the adapters out of one side of the Go Rack, and then I put them to the things with the, so now it's just, look at the simplification we've got going on here, people. So, because I'm not going to rerun more RCAs, so I've got XLRs. So I got these XLR adapters to RCA, and that's going straight to the miniDSP, which I'm going to try to make sit properly now. I don't know if even left and right are correct, by the way. It's just a fucking... This is all just temporary. So now all I've got to straighten out what I'm seeing here is RCA out of the Tascam, miniDSP, miniDSP to sub, miniDSP to adapters, to amps. Listen to the sound. Nothing. Powering the miniDSP because the USB is still noisy. The Go Rack can come out. I liked using it. I liked coming up here and just being able to hit mute, but now the miniDSP is, if the miniDSP is the miniDSP, this is the microscopic DSP. So that can get saved and put in there for use actually now. So that's it. So now all I've got coming out of this is mini. I've simplified everything. And there's no sound, and there's no ground loop. And here's the thing, when I took this out and I tried using this in line, holy shit, the fucking ground loop. And I don't know, it was something to do with this combining with the Go Rack that was just, it was just not no babies were being made. Right? It was making retard babies of just noise. Bad. So I know it's not this thing's fault because I tested this separately. I didn't record me coming out here with a headphone amplifier and just plugging in and wearing headphones and trying to see if the noise was coming through there, and it wasn't. So it's all this big lump of fucking annoyance. But right now, I've got it just running straight through, and the problem is going to be, because of how low the miniDSP outputs, is I'm just going to have to deal with that for now. I'm going to have to go through it. Let me do it right now while we're on the clock. Oh, I got to hit receiver. Okay, setup, speaker setup, speaker config, front full, yes, around 80, yes. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to bump the fronts up. I don't like doing that either. I don't like adjusting. When you're adjusting levels like that, usually you pick a set and you leave them at 0. And then you raise everything or lower everything around it. So if you had a center channel, I would say just leave the center at 0. If your left and rights are too bright, bring them down, bring those up. But I don't want to be pushing this whole unit past 0 volume. And that seems what I'm going to have to do if I don't. So now we're at +4. So it's a 4 decibel bump is what that, 4 to 5 decibels is what I estimated this thing was producing. And that's exactly what it is. So now, even though that level calibration will not matter once I'm in direct mode, which is how I listen to music anyway. So that's going to stay on 0 with the input from the ODAC. And I had, for all my anorexic testing with that stupid ground thing, I shut off all the crossovers, even shut off the subs. I just wanted to hear the speakers because I know they're amazing. And they were not amazing going through that ground loop isolator. They were just like hollow and dead. And there was a little bit of a sharpness that, like, it was like the soul was ripped out of the music. So if you ever want to ruin someone's $50,000 stereo, just buy a $20 ground loop isolator. Just put it in line. It'd be great. Oh! Titties! Does direct... Did that actually affect the volume? It shouldn't. Direct should not care about what I set that front to. I gotta test something now. Hold on, while we're on camera. I'm gonna set the front left to like -10. Okay. And now it fucking does. I did not know that. I thought direct was supposed to bypass everything. There's no pure direct on this, but that's... I guess that's what it just does. Speaker config, no. Oh god, I just set subwoofer to no. Don't do that. Oh fuck, I'm lost. Setup. Speaker setup. Speaker config. Subwoofer. Yes, there's definitely one of those. Now I'm gonna go to level calibration. That's... I did not think that would be the case. Because I never take my fronts off of 0. I'm gonna... Alright, I'm gonna go +3 on the front. That means I should probably do -3. I'll do -5. -5 for the ODAC. And then I usually control the volume with foobar. A, because it's easier, and B, because it's 24-bit. Anyway, so it doesn't matter. Well, actually, it's 16-bit? I'll put in 24? I don't remember. It's fine. No, it's set to 24-bit. But then I'm wasabiing. I'd have to upscale to 24-bit. If I'm gonna do this, it's gonna have to be like this. DSP manager. Resampler. Configure that. See, but that's not it. That's not the bit depth. No, I don't think I could. Could I up that? Resampler. You know what? I'm just fucking with things for no reason now. Sounds good. Let's turn back on. I'm gonna unbypass that. And I'm going just basically visually on this shit. So now that's unbypassed. I'm having the cutoff on those at 50 hertz because I've got a 24 decibel slope. And I've got a more aggressive slope on the subwoofers. They're at a 48 decibel slope. I'll put the routing back on. I don't like the colors of the other app. This app looks nicer, but we'll have to live with it. Okay, so now subs are oh yeah. So that's maximum volume there. And I'm not touching the clip part of that amp, which I can be. That's not bad. All right, at 0, at maximum, this type of song, which is just hitting under 0 dB on the VU meter. All right. All right, this video is officially over. I'm glad you have been here for a day in the life of Zeos. You know what? That's the title of this video. The only thing I didn't show you is breakfast and then brunch, lunch, dinner. Made chicken. Oh, actually, I started this with the chicken. Started this with the chicken. You missed breakfast. Breakfast was good. It was a bagel with eggs. I had a hard-boiled egg. No, I had a cheese omelet and a sunny side up that I made in one pan. That was great. A little bit of sea salt. So now this is here. Stay doing that, and only that, powered externally, and actually plug the thing into the UPS down here. What is all this dust? Gotta get my duster out. In case that some reason the power strip, which has all the million things plugged into it, is feeding back noise. I wanted to make sure I got rid of that, so I put it right into the UPS. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, my pockets are filled with adapters and knives. There's nothing in his pockets but knives and adapters. These were here. I'll never find them again, and these go in the closet. Alright, thank you for joining me. I hope I don't have to extend this video yet again. Everything seems to be working. I'm going to put on a nice depressing movie. Oh, by the way, here's the RCA cable that came with the miniDSP. It's not bad. It's a lot of strain relief. Very stiff strain relief. They okay. Yeah. I love them shitty RCAs. Put that back here. Done with you. Done with you. Sony's C7s. Just clean up on video. Just keep this going for like 4 hours. Make it the best April Fool's joke ever. These count as electrical. They go in here. Oh, shit. Heat shrink. Fuck, puke. I'm gonna puke now. Ow. So many things. Anybody else hear that? There was something creaking in the box. Oh god, I thought it was a speaker. We're going click click. Oh god. I'm gonna go take a shit. Bye. Alright, I took my crap and then I came back out here. This is, by the way, this is like an April Fool's joke now. Just gonna keep going. Yeah, I just spent probably an hour, at least an hour, just fucking with things. Crossover points and delay, and then I would just shut that shit off, and I would just match the sub and speaker, like holding the arrow key down while the delay for the speaker would just come up and up. It was good, none further down. And then I tried with just stereo subs and then monoed them, and it's just better in mono. They don't need to be in stereo. And then I'm just tweaking it, and then I took like the high pass and I cut off from 18,000 hertz. I just, a big fucking cutoff, because I can't hear above that anyway. My hearing stops at like 16. So it was a little bit just gone, and then, you know, that, and then test maximum volume and adjust the levels, and fuck! The Kill la Kill soundtrack was what I decided to test on, because there's a lot of low. Fucking low. Just low. And these songs will definitely get me this video just being muted. And it ended up being like 4 3/4 milliseconds delay on the speakers. And I should probably do them individually, because maybe there's a difference in slight distance from the walls, and fuck. Yes. And I could push as hard as I want, because unless you run stereo out of the receiver, the front channels would always have gotten full tilt in direct for music. I like to do music in direct. That's what I like to do. And now I could push as hard as I want, and they don't clip the amps, because low end is what makes the amps have the most draw, and that's what brings you near the peak indicators. Now, since I'm cutting out, I think 50, I think I'm cutting out 55. Crossing over the speakers at 55, 24 decibel, 24 decibel per octave cut, and crossing up the subs until 70, and then a 48 LR, just boom, boom. This is perfect. And that's it. And that's Zay with Zeos. You missed a whole 1 hour of just like fucking with it. But there you go. And that's the next one. That's so loud! You can't even grasp how loud I can now push this system, because the amps, the big Behringers, are not pushing 18 hertz to those ohms, and it's like, it's just everything's separate and happy. And I had to tweak that sub a little bit louder, because I had them in stereo, and then like a thing happened. I'm like, so that one had to be, because I manually tweak those. One of the amps has got to be just weirder, because they're old subs. And then once I did like a bunch of sweeps, and I was like, and they all sounded the same, then it's just fuck you. All right, done with this. This is great. Gonna put on a movie now and probably shit my pants. I just shit. Pants.